All right, so we've moved our way a little bit further down the line. We're at a place called Shipyard Road, which is here in the city of Thunder Bay now. And so here you can see the rails stretching to the east, back to where we were just a little while ago. And so here you can see this crossing. Again, this is Shipyard Road. This kind of tells you a lot about the state of the line. You can see the rails themselves are very, very rusted. They basically have not seen any traffic. You can see here that there's actually a busted piece of rail. And so these rails obviously have not been used for a very, very long time. You can see the condition of some of these rails. They obviously haven't been replaced in a long time. You can see this one here is just completely, if I turn this way, completely flattened out. There's just a big, huge sort of dead spot in the rail. We'll see if we can identify some of these rails. So this one is an Algoma rail. You can make out the Algoma on there. This one's a 1944 rail. I don't know if you can see that on there. 1944. This one over here is a Dominion. This is Dominion. And this one's a 1948. So again, just the usual hodgepodge of different rails and different manufacturers. See if we can see some identification on some of these other ones. This one's Algoma. And it's a 1948 rail. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way. You can see there's an old flanger sign right there. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our way a little bit further west and take a look at a few things over there. All right, so we moved our way a little ways down from Shipyard Road. And so right beside the grade here, and so kind of a neat little find. So what we have here is kind of a 2-for-1. So we have the milepost marker, which is completely illegible. You can see it's one of the older style wooden ones where you really don't see those very often. They were always kind of replaced with a more modern metal ones. But we also have the station ahead marker. So this is the marker that indicates that Kohut station is ahead. And we know that this is the milepost 194 marker because Kohut is at milepost 193. And so basically Kohut was a mile that way to the east. So here you can see the line, the rails, and again you can basically see that they're rusting. You can see that they haven't been used. What's interesting is you'll notice here that the nature of the maintenance here, you can see that this particular spike is popping up. You'll notice that the tie plates only have one spike per tie plate. And that's typically very unusual because they're supposed to have 2 spikes per tie plate. And so you don't normally see that. I'm just trying to see if we can identify these, just trying to see if we can identify any of these rails. So this one over here, that one there is an Algoma 1950. So just again, kind of the hodgepodge of different rails and different manufacturers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to push our way a little bit further to the west, and there's a few more things to take a look at over there. All right, so we've moved slightly to the west. There's actually a creek right here, and the milepost marker says 194.15. So we're just a very, very short distance away from milepost 194. So what we're going to take a look at here is actually one of the numerous sort of industrial spurs that kind of went off of the line here, that basically ran down to I believe it was a paper mill that was down here. You can actually see some of the ties that are still in place here. You can see there's a tie plate, and then here you can see there's actually some ties, so quite a number of ties that are still in their place. You can see some of the tie plates. You can see them kind of lined up here. And then the spur kind of runs down there. What I'm going to do right now is I'll show you a little map, and I'll show you this spur kind of branching off. And then over here, maybe we'll drop down and you can kind of see these ties from the side. So this sort of spur has been kind of taken out. You can see some of the dirt's been removed, but you can kind of see the ties here from the side. What's neat about here is right beside the grade, we actually have all of this material that's on here, and it looks like slag. You can see all of this looks like molten material, and there's bits of rock and things that are in there. I'm not sure where this all sort of where this all came from. Just kind of really neat to see it and sort of ponder a little bit about sort of its origins. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just continue working our way a little bit further to the west, and there's another spur that we're going to be taking a look at shortly. Okay, so we're here at yet another spur on the line. You can see the switch here for the spur, and you can see the points. So basically this was the eastern spur that ran down to yet another paper mill. This was known as the Provincial Papers. And there was actually a couple set of, at one time there was actually a couple set of rails that ran down to the mill. I'm going to pause here for a second so I can show you a map here. And then here you can see kind of what remains of the spur. You can kind of see the it's been disconnected here. Basically the whole line is, and it's probably one of the reasons why there's no traffic on this section of the line. Basically the rails have been pulled up here at the junction point, and you can see there's a couple of rail stops here. And then there is a sign here. Work our way past this so we can see this. So you can see the end of track. So officially the end of track is milepost 193.22 or something like that. That's the official number. I'll put that up on the screen, but for all intents and purposes you can see basically this is kind of the current end of the line. But again, if you take a look at this, essentially all I see is sort of very poorly maintained rails, a lot of rust, and so obviously this has not been sort of used in a very, very long time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to follow this spur down a little bit, see where it crosses the road, and then we'll move our way a little bit further to the west. So we're here where this spur crosses what was at one time known as Shipyard Road. And so you can see kind of the remains of the crossing here. You can see some of the timbers, and you can see the rails kind of almost embedded into the ground. And so we'll just follow it a little bit this way here, and you can see it curving to the sort of the south, I guess, or to the east, running towards the location of where the mill once was. You can see what appears to be some signage here. You can obviously see the age of the spur here. Obviously not particularly used in quite a number of years. I don't remember exactly when the paper mill here shut down. I'll see if I can find an answer for you. And so then it continues here to the east again, running towards the mill.